No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. The God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you. If there's some kind of trouble or pain you're going through, know that you are not alone.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Earth Day weekend. Morning. My name is Reverend Christy Korn. I am the Associate Minister here at Unity of the Blue Ridge. Rev Darlene is away this weekend, spending some time celebrating her dad's birthday. So, yay, it's been a very celebratory weekend, yes. So I just want to welcome everyone and welcome to the live streamers. Thank you for joining us today. Let's start with an opening prayer. You may close your eyes if you wish. And I know that the power and the presence, the beauty, the magnificence, the vastness, the potential, the creativity, the possibility of all life is divine in nature. This divine presence, call it God, call it Spirit, by many names it is called. There is only one. This life energy is that which spins the planets in their place, beats our very heart, enlivens us to be more, to do more, to express more, to love more, to nurture more. And so we come here today to understand that at a deeper level, to open up in that recognition, to embrace the holiness of every moment and every aspect of life, seen and unseen. We celebrate that in ourselves. We celebrate that in one another. We celebrate it in this Mother Earth. We celebrate it all around us. We give thanks. And so it is. Amen. And so we have our youth. If there are any kids, there may be some back there. However, hey, Simon. And so we always extend a blessing to our children before they go out. Oh, hey, yay. And so we just open our hearts and rub our hands together and we say, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. Have fun. Thank you, Rev Gabby and Rev Barbara Ann. And I just want to take this opportunity to remind you, if you could please turn off your cell phones while you're in the chapel here. That would be a great benefit to not only the broadband, but those with sensitivities as well. So thank you for that. And it's a wonderful opportunity to turn around and greet your neighbor. We're probably not at the hugging stage yet. However, if you turn around and give it a little namaste. And while we're connecting with Siri, no. Now's the time. Turn around and wave to our greater audience. We have a community that is worldwide, and I am so grateful for that. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us in the future. And yeah, you good? Got it. Wonderful. So, with all this laughter, it's just reflective of love, and we're just going to put a little more love in our hearts.
Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Another day goes by, still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know we won't let hatred grow, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Take a good look around. If you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide, kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. 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 That's Eeyore channeling for Cat.
We have such an amazing, creative, flexible, spontaneous, professional band. We've got some changes. Early this morning, Kat got called into work, so we reach out, and it just gets done with such beauty and grace. So thank you, Dave Della Rosa, Richard, Joel, and then Barefoot Pete. Barefoot Pete also couldn't make it, so Joey Dukes, thank you for stepping up on the drums. This is how spiritual community rolls, right? We all just come together, support one another, and there you go. I'm so grateful. It's such an amazing community. And one of the things I did want to share, if there's anybody here for the first time, anyone that's new, if you'd like to identify yourselves, that's great. Hey, welcome, welcome. We have these blue cards with little red hearts, and if you'd like to wear that red heart, we can have some of our folks just come up and extend an extra special welcome to you. So thank you for that. Yeah, you can wear it on your shirt, your lapel, or your forehead. All right. So as I said, Rev Darlene is celebrating her father's birthday. I do want to extend the invitation for next Sunday, May 1st. We have a special community event. It's just a way to celebrate all of us coming together. And the kids, the parents, the families, everybody. We're gonna have some games and face painting and a tie-dye station. We'll have pizza and mini cupcakes, and if that doesn't support your dietary needs. You are welcome to bring your own picnic lunch, a blanket, camping chairs. However, we're going to have some music. We have a special guest, Raquel Scott, will be here next weekend, and she's going to be doing some music out on the patio while we have all these other activities go on. We're going to bless and dedicate the Labyrinth Pavilion, which will follow the service. So it's going to be a wonderful opportunity to come together and celebrate and get to know one another. So we're really excited about that. There are some of these flyers out on the table in the lobby, so grab one as a reminder, and then some notes regarding some volunteer opportunities, etc. Right. Well, with that, I want to introduce Meagen Gosiewski. She is a ministry intern, and she'll be sharing a message today. And also, she has a special guest with her, Gabby. And she will be sharing a special reading and prayer. Do you have more to say about Gabby?
I do. Come on up, Gabby. This is my very beautiful heart sister, Gabby Spilkia. She is an indigenous woman. And she is going to be doing some extra special stuff with us today. She walks the medicine path, which that's why we connected. We actually work together, if you can believe that, in the real world. So she's going to do our inspirational reading this morning, and then at the end of the service, she's going to treat us to an extra special blessing ceremony. So do you have your, yeah, then I'll go get the...
Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning. We say Hehani Washte in the Sioux language. I am not Sioux. My name is Elisa Gabrielle Spilkia Buendia. It's a combination of my birth-given name and my adoption name, government name. Meagen asked me to do this reading or a spiritual motivation reading this morning, and many things came to mind in recognition of Earth Day, but I wrote this from the heart. I hope that you can take it with you, something, a little bit of our way of being. Every day is a ceremony in our walk, and we honor all of creation. There's a word for that. Some say a homatakuyasin, which means we are all related. According to the Lakota and other First Nations prophecies, when the coming of the white buffalo calf woman came, she brought with her the seven traditional ceremonies for the people. She paid a visit to all tribes, spreading the true words of God and Jesus when we knew the coming of the end of times was near. When the settlers began to destroy the ways of life of our Tierra Madre, this time of the Iron Age was said to be upon us, when the destruction of Mother Earth would occur and we would begin to see the things we see today. The oil, the gold, the silver, and copper vanishing, and the coal mines and natural resources being taken. The Amazon, where I'm from, being raped and our waters being polluted. Chief Seattle of the Duwamish and Suquamish tribes was not just a chief, but a holy man to his people. Being baptized into the Noah Catholic Church, he and few other chiefs brought the churches into different tribes and conducted church sermons and Christianizing the native people. In his native tongue, he gave his speech in 1854 to the United States government. There were many tribes in the land of America before the invasion of the white colonizers, in which he and others foretold us, and I quote, "We do not belong to Mother Earth. We are of her, to take care of her as she nourishes us. As the sun and moon turns, we need to live in harmony. How can you buy or sell the sky, the warmth of the land? The idea is strange to us. The rivers are our brothers. The air is precious. For all things share the same breath, and this we know. The earth does not belong to man. Man belongs to the earth, and this we know. All things are connected, like the blood which unites one family. These words of Chief Seattle on October 29, 1887 will never die. Some of us, amongst us here today, were born at this time to help others, myself included, to remember and share this message of the Creator. Lakota Elder Grandfather Wallace Black Elk makes reference to these rainbow bridgers in his vision about horses of all colors in his book. The Maya spoke about it with their crystal skulls. We must mend the sacred hoop of all nations for our future. As we heal, she will heal. She will heal us with all the medicines she bears in her bosom. I ask you now, all of the nations, the black, the red, the yellow, and the white, if you feel the call to heal your Madre Earth and live in harmony for our children and the next 7 generations, then that time is now. Stand up, friends, and act. It starts with you. If we heal ourselves, our communities, our states, our nations, she will allow us to stay here and provide for the next chapter of prophecy, the 2,000 years of peace, the new earth. Please, let's start today with ourselves and Lakesh, and so it is.
That was beautiful, Gabby. Beautiful.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
I see joy in every heart. I see peace in every eye. I see hope with every passing day, and love in all our lives. I see nations joining hands, together building dreams. We're restoring all the lands, the skies and all the seas. It's good that we can see how beautiful our lives can be when our lives become the dream becomes our lives. It's the vision that we focus on that finally survive. It's good that we can see how beautiful our lives can be. Life can be simple and life can be free. Love can be for everyone if only we will see. Let's all live in harmony, join our hearts as one, and have faith that our dream has begun. And I see joy in every heart, I see peace in every eye, I see hope with every passing day, and love in all our lives. I see nations joining hands, together building dreams. We're restoring all the lands, the skies and all the seas. It's good that we can see how beautiful our lives can be. How beautiful our lives can be. How beautiful our lives can be.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Good morning. You know, I was just sitting there looking, I got transfixed listening to that beautiful message from the song, and then looking out this window. This time last week, it was nowhere near as green as it is today. Just in 1 week, it almost filled in completely. It's just so beautiful. Don't you just love our Mother Earth? Oh, well, as you probably know, and this is giving a lot of feedback here. Let me see if I can work with it. As you probably know, this is an Earth Day celebration talk. It is Earth Day weekend. And if I can't get this, oh, is that better? I think that might be better. Okay, good. So this is an Earth Day celebration weekend. Yay, Earth Day! I love this time of year. I love all the holidays, and it's really a holiday if you think about it. Earth Day has been going on. I don't know if you all know the history of Earth Day, but I find it very fascinating because it really ties in with the way that we as New Thought Unity people celebrate and live our lives. We're always looking to expand our consciousness, right? That's kind of what we're doing. We believe in the idea of Christ consciousness, which is the understanding that we too can live as Christ lived and walked on this earth. And Earth Day is an expansion of consciousness. I don't know if you all know the history, but 1970 is when this started, 1970. And first of all, I have to give a shout out to all of the baby boomers in this room because it's because of you. Yes, it's because of the baby boomers that we have Earth Day today. It was started by a senator, and I have to always look up his name, Gaylord Hayes. In the late 1960s, he was so distraught by all of the pollution in the water and in the air, and he saw this momentum going with the boomers in the anti-Vietnam protests that were happening across the country. So he said, let's take that momentum and let's bring it into celebrating the earth. There were 200 million Americans living in the United States in 1970, and 10% celebrated the first Earth Day. 20 million people celebrated the first Earth Day, all boomers for the most part. I'm sure there were some generations before that, but the boomers got it going. Now flash forward to 1990, the Gen Xers, that's me, Gabby, we're the Gen Xer crowd. We were very instrumental in being a part of it as well. In 1990, it went from 20 million to 200 million globally in 140 countries. Oh, it gets better, wait. It gets better. Today, Earth Day is celebrated by 1 billion people on the planet. That is it gives me chills to think about that. That is 1 in 8 people. 1 in 8 people celebrated in some capacity over this weekend in 190 countries. Now, there are only 195 countries, so almost every country celebrated this beautiful sacred day, this beautiful sacred weekend. And it just gives me chills to think about how many people are waking up collectively, bringing it home, planting a tree, cleaning up a river, working in your garden, whatever you did to celebrate. And we're going to do some stuff today here after the service, just a quick little thing. I'll talk about that in a moment. But if you haven't had the opportunity to honor our Mother Earth, then this will be the time to do it today. And we'll give you some, I don't know if you saw the altar out front when you walked in. It was kind of hidden up a little bit because everybody was asking questions. And so I'll explain that here in a little bit, and we'll have some more information after the service. But the understanding of Earth Day is that the collective consciousness is growing on this planet. We are waking up. And as the next generations come in, those millennials, those Gen Zers, those people who are under the age of 10, they are waking up. They are very much awake. My son corrects me all the time. If I say something about, well, mankind, he'll go, humankind, Mama. It's not just men. Okay. They are, as they say, woke, right? They are woke, these young generations. But again, it all started with the boomers, and I just think that's so amazing that we're bringing all of these generations together to celebrate this beautiful planet. I have been really blessed in my life to study various different indigenous practices around the globe. I've always been fascinated with that. And there's a particular tribe that's based out of the Andes called the Karo tribe that is something that is very near and dear to me. And thank goodness for Zoom, because I've been able to study a lot with some of the local Karo. They have classes and so forth that they do on Zoom, but I've met many of them as well. Actually, they travel here. There's a big connection, for some reason, spiritually maybe, between the Andes and the Appalachian Mountains. So a lot of the Karo come here, and they travel around the state doing blessings and that type of thing. And so I've been very honored to celebrate and study with several of them, and they call their shamans Pacos. So you'll hear me say that word Paco as I talk a little bit more about them. But the Pacos are their healers, and they're kind of their priests or preachers in their community, but the entire community is a mystic community. Everything they do honors Mother Earth in every way that they walk, and they're farmers by nature. So when they farm, when they eat, they always offer a piece of their meal back to the land. They say prayers constantly. I don't know if you all remember back right before the pandemic, we were trying to do a despacho, for those of you who were here, and that comes from the Karo tribe. And it is items that you find in nature, and you whisper prayers into each item, whether it be a rose petal or whether it be a stone, and you create a mandala of sorts. And then you fold it and you give it back to the earth in some way. And we were going to do that, and then the pandemic happened. So we'll be doing it again at some point, but that comes from the Karo tribe. So the Karo, as I said, are a very mystic community of people. And they have a prophecy. And so Gabby alluded to the Rainbow Tribe prophecy. I know a lot of us have heard of the Rainbow Tribe. Theirs is specifically called the Eagle Condor prophecy. It's a deep prophecy, and I'm not going to get into all of the details of it because there have been books written about it. But I will tell you that the eagle represents North America, and the condor represents South America. The eagle represents industriousness. It represents moving and collecting and hunting. It represents the mind. Now, if you think about our culture here in North America, we are very much cerebral people. We are on our phone. We love information. We love news. We love gathering facts. We are always in our brain, and I think that's a wonderful thing. We are very smart people. We are very knowledgeable about the world. That's what the eagle represents. Think about the eagle eye. It's always seeking. It's always looking for its prey. But the condor, on the other hand, represents South America. If you don't know much about the condor, which I really didn't know a whole lot, it's basically our turkey vulture here in Western North Carolina. So it's the bird that you say, ooh, every time you drive by and you see him perched on the trees or flying around, you're like, uh-oh, something's dying. And the condor does exactly what the turkey vulture does. It takes what is passing and helps it transition back into Mother Earth. It represents the heart. So now you see the eagle representing the mind and the condor, representing the heart, is a collective understanding of North and South America. The idea of the prophecy is that instead of the eagle flying higher than the condor, they will fly equal. So that North and South America will be together, rising up to save the planet, to save ourselves. The planet didn't really need saving. She's got her own back. But we need to take better care of it. And that's what the prophecy represents. But it also represents each of you individually. Because when we live in our mind and in our heart, we're balanced. But if we live just in our mind, we're not balanced. We think about the American lifestyle. We work all the time. We barely take 2 weeks vacation, the average American. We love to work. So, and that's a good thing, but it could be balanced more. And that's what the idea of the eagle condor prophecy is that when we start to become balanced, we will take better care of the planet. And I know this is some enlightened minds here today. And I know you probably already are starting to do this if you're not already there. You're already thinking about that connection between the mind and the heart. But that there is brain matter in the heart. Another thing that they say, and this always calls to me, I've called Mother Earth many names just because I love to garden. I'm always outside. If I'm ever depressed, I just go and stand in my yard. I'm a nature person. I love to hike. I just love to be outdoors. And so I've just always called Mother Earth, just Mother Earth, sometimes Gaia. But they use a word that really sticks out to me, and I've been calling Mother Earth this now for about 5 years, and I don't know if you've heard the term Pachamama. Pachamama is very common in South America. It's an Inca word. It comes from the Inca, and that's where the Q'ero come from. They are originally from the Inca tribe, and they call her Pachamama. Now, the Q'ero, one other interesting fact about them is they were one of the only tribes in South America not to be tainted by the conquistadors when they came through. The conquistadors and all of the Spaniards, when they were traversing South America, they saw that the Q'ero were about 15,000 feet. So if you know anything about Peru or what's going on in the Andes, their mountains are very high. The town of Cusco, I think, is at 9,000 feet. So they said, and they went higher up. So all of their spiritual practices that they kept were not tainted by European invaders. And so everything that they teach today is very pure and goes back hundreds, if not thousands of years of the way that they walk with the earth. And that's the idea of when we talk about the eagle condor, we start listening to our heart, we start listening to the indigenous peoples here in this country as well. We have indigenous practices here, and we recognize that we have somehow become disconnected with the earth, and it's time to come back connected. It's time to step back and be at one with the earth and stop taking things for granted. And so as I was preparing this talk, I thought, you know, there's a lot of bad stuff out there, right? There's a lot of negative news right now, and I don't want to focus on the negative. I want to focus on the positive, because there are so many beautiful things happening right now on this planet that we should just celebrate in. Before I talk about some of those, though, I want to remind us that we, as people of various faiths walking on this planet, have been instructed to take care of the planet. And some of us have forgotten that. But Genesis 2:15 says, "The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to serve it and to guard and protect it." So we were placed on this planet to take care of the Garden of Eden. And the Garden of Eden is right here, right? Look outside at those beautiful flowers on the tree. We are in the garden. It's our job to take care of it. But it's not just the Bible. The Quran, it is he who has appointed you vicegerent on the earth. Now, I didn't quite know what a vicegerent was, so I looked that up. A vicegerent is someone who has been appointed by the person of the Most High to be an administrator. So the Quran has said specifically that we are to take care of the earth and be administrators of the earth. The Bhagavad Gita. The world needed a master, someone to enjoy it and take care of it so that it would last forever. Isn't that beautiful? That touches my heart so deeply, so that it would last forever. So let's focus a little bit on some positive things that are happening here in the earth right now that people are doing. And remember, I talked just a moment ago about our beautiful Gen Zers. Those are the people who were born sometime around 95 and later. So they're not millennials, maybe even 2000. So they're not millennials. Millennials are they're all in their 30s now. So it's this young generation that my boys fall into. And there's a few outstanding people. I don't know if any of you know Greta Thunberg. I think she's from either Norway or Sweden. She's amazing. She did an entire protest on Fridays. She called them Friday sit-outs, and it spread across pretty much the whole globe, but it became very popular where children would skip school on Fridays and go and protest about, essentially, wake up, we're not taking care of the planet. So she's an international figure, and I like what she has to say, but I like closer to home, because I think those are the people that touch us very deeply. Closer to home, we have Cole Rassenberger. If you don't know that name, you should look him up. Cole Rassenberger. Cole was an 8-year-old boy. This has been a few years ago. I think he's a teenager now, but when he was 8, he was so distraught because he heard that McDonald's was tearing down the forests of North Carolina on the East Coast. They were tearing them down so they could make paper for their paper bags that you get. And he was so distraught by that, this 8-year-old boy. So he said, what can I do? He wrote a letter to McDonald's, and they listened, and they stopped cutting down our forests, and now they use recycled paper. 8-year-old Cole Rassenberger. And then, he didn't stop there. And then he took on KFC, and they listened. I mean, that's just amazing that this little boy had so much power to be able to get these 2 major fast food. I think KFC is the second largest one. It's McDonald's and then KFC are first and second of global fast food chains. And he got them to stop, at least here in the United States. That's huge. All he did was write a letter and speak his heart. Cole lives from his heart. Did you know that by 2030, in 8 years, half of the cars in the United States will be electric? I don't know if I happened to, this week, I just happened to think, I just want to sip coffee and watch Good Morning America because sometimes it's really cheesy, and I love Robin Roberts. And I just happened to watch it. The whole thing this week was about electric cars. And I thought, well, that's kind of apropos, but it was Earth Day celebration. They are putting those charging stations across the country right now. And the state of Florida, you don't have to drive any more than 25 miles to find one. So it is changing. We are waking up. We are waking up. British Airways ran their first carbon neutral flight. They used recycled cooking oil. And all I could think the whole time is, I bet they craved French fries when they got off that flight. System 002 cleaned up 20,000 pounds in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It's a boat specifically that was designed to clean up the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which, if you don't know, it is where all of the plastic accumulates. It's a very large area, and one time, 20,000 pounds, and it goes back again and again, but it is cleaning it up. It is cleaning it up. And then right here in our very own Western North Carolina, if you're not familiar with Greenworks, I highly encourage you to become aware of who they are and what they do. They have cleaned up 750,000 pounds of recycled material that would have gone into the landfills here in the area. But they have taken that out. Yes. They have taken it out, and they have They have a hard to recycle day where you can take computers, you can take styrofoam, you can take batteries, all kinds of things that you would normally just chunk. Greenworks has them. They have them here in Henderson County. They have them in Buncombe County. They usually have them at least 2 or 3 times a year where you can take all that stuff and recycle it. 750,000 pounds right here in our very own backyard. And then right here at Unity, I don't know if you know this, but we are I think I'm using the right word, certified green. Is that the term? We are a certified green church where we use paper napkins. We don't use paper napkins, we use cloth napkins. We have our own silverware and cutlery. We don't use plasticware. We do some things to be in harmony with the earth. So right here in our very spiritual center, we're doing it. Yeah. So we are doing it. So there is positive movement on this planet, and we are a part of it. So from the boomers to the Gen Zers, we all have to collectively come together. And as Gabby talked about in her inspirational reading, the tribes of the earth, the rainbow tribe, all the different colors of ethnicities and people here on this planet have to come together. Even the Dalai Lama said that the world would be saved by the Western woman. I don't know if you've heard that. I saw that at the Women's March a few years ago. I had not heard that. But the idea is that we have to get this movement going. And we've started it already back in 1970. And now we're moving forward. And so I was going to have Gabby come up, but I don't know where she went. So I will just talk about my friend for just a moment while they go find her. She may have had to run to the restroom. So Gabby is, as she mentioned, she's an Indigenous woman, and she's been walking the medicine path for many years. And she has sweat lodges in her very own backyard in suburban Asheville. And I was very blessed to be able to attend one of those back a couple of years ago before the pandemic got really bad. And when I was talking and doing this talk today, or preparing this talk, Spirit kept saying, you need to talk to Gabby. She needs to be a part of this. And her face just kept appearing in my head. So I called her and I said, would you be interested in talking to my spiritual community? And she said, oh yeah. So she is here today, and we are going to do something very special. And before I go into all of that, I will let her talk about it. I have to find the microphone because I have to hold it for her. But we're going to do something that's very sacred. And while she's preparing, I will say, outside when you walked in, there was an altar that was set up. And part of what the Karo teach is that you can use herbs and stones and sticks and things that you find in nature, and you can whisper a prayer into them, your intention, your love and gratitude of the earth, or whatever you decide. But there are various herbs out front that will guide you to, and you can go and whisper your prayer and spread them on the land somewhere to celebrate and walk in harmony with the earth. So I encourage you, if you are so called, to do that. Or if you're not, then maybe just at least say a prayer that we are all starting to wake up collectively, and that we are all starting to take care of this planet a little bit more. So I'll have Gabby come up. Okay.
I had to drink a lot of water today. So you know that requires. Yeah, it's a little different for me. I'm used to having a microphone on to my face. So, I wrote down just to not get confused. Thanks for having me. I forgot to say when I got here, my tribe is the Chipcha tribe. I was born in Bogota, Colombia, South America, and I was raised in Columbia, Maryland, actually, by Caucasian, white, Jewish people from New York City. And when I got to Asheville, North Carolina, I met a Lakota Sioux grandmother, and she did a ceremony, one of the 7 that I was talking about earlier, that was brought to the people, and it was the abbreviation. The short version is a Hunkapi, and it means making a relation. So I've been on that road now for 20 years, and I believe I was born into it. And my sidekick here had me laughing earlier because It's like I'm Colombian and she's from Turtle Island here, and yet we're sharing almost the opposite messages, which is hilarious because it's all the same anyways. So I made this, it's not a staff, it's what we call a yoni, and I was only given 10 minutes. So this is like an hour work, 2-hour workshop, so it's quick. Take something with you. The hoop, I don't know if you've all seen them before. We call it a chongleshka. It's a medicine wheel, and it has a cross. Maybe used to call it that in the middle. And the colors of that are the black, which represents the west. The red is the north. The east is the yellow. The white is the south, depending on the traditions. When you go out west, the Nakota, Dakota, and Lakota have different interpretations of colors. And some use purple for ancestors around this mountain, too. And the blue is Father Sky, Wankantaka, Creator, Great Mystery, as they call it. And of course, our mother is the green, and I always let her hit the earth. I put these inside my home and outside my home to bless the land. Most people call them flags, but we call them prayer robes. So this is heavy, and I would like to ask for a volunteer, maybe a tall one. Got anyone like 5'8" or taller? That would like to hold the weight of the world in their hand. And this V also represents the sacred spot of the woman. And we use that at our tree when we go dance. So put your hand, yeah, like so. And so what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna, to recap, the Black nation represents the water. Those are the people, many of the Africans, they take that water and they pray with it. They bless it so it's clean and drinkable. And that's what they brought to the hoop. The red, the north, are obviously the people of the earth. You know, we work with the plant medicines, and there is a prophecy about that at this time as well. The east is from the east. I like to honor the sun every morning, Hanhepiwi, and pray to that for new beginnings, new days, and it's the medicine of the Tai Chi, the breath, the Qigong, the air. It's the medicine of the air. And the white is the fire, the Caucasian race. This is what they brought us as we walked through the Iron Age and things of that sort, which led us to Meagen's sharing today. So that's the brief synopsis of Red Road Circle 101. And so I would invite you to stand. I heard the directions are a little funky here because this might be some kind of a portal or vortex, which feels kind of cool. I take my shoes off because I always think my Golden Chief Lady Eagle from the Yankton Sioux Reservation always said the rubber is what gets us disconnected from the very beginning when we have these things called shoes. And so imagine going through the carpet and through the floor and to Pachamama, you know, Mother Earth, and all the way through to the core of the earth is what I do as I create that hollow bone that extends all the way up through our kundalinis to the Father Sky and beyond. And in Father Sky, he holds everything, the high-flying ones, the winged ones, and what we call the Wajapi Oyate, which is the star nations, Pleiades, and all the other places you were here maybe before you came here. Thank you for having me do this prayer. It's an honor to be here again. Thank you, Sister Meagen. I can't say enough words or I'll start crying. We definitely have known each other a very long time, and I'm honored to be here. In our language, in Lakota, we say palami aye, lohe, maybe, means thank you, and omateo. And we are the talking about Meagen and the condor and the eagle, the feminine in the left and the masculine in the right. And that is within each of you. When I say en Lakesh, as I did before, it's speaking to I am another yourself. So feel compelled. Does anyone know which way is the west? We start in the west to honor the thunder
This way?
beings.
We're going this way.
This is the thunder nation. So we'll do west, north, east, south. As above, so below. I don't like because then my backside is too young. But I was never a singer. I tried to give this job away for 20 years. Nobody wants to learn these songs. So forgive me. And this is a new drum. I've never used it. I'm awakening it today. I made it. It is elk skin.
Do you want me to? So out front, you can sit. Thank you.
Pelamiaye. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. I think we can. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, here. So I don't know about you, but I feel grounded in now. And this special land is so very sacred. There's so much going on here, so much beautiful energy, just the light that pours forth. When I taught a class here back a couple years ago, we were trying to use a compass to tell us where north, south, and east and west was, and nobody could get it to work. Everybody had their phones out. I don't know what's going on here, but it's beautiful. So we now have it even just a little bit more sunk in, and we're just a little bit more connected to this land. So we're going to be wrapping it up. Richard, if you could go on and come up. And I'm going to go into a meditation, but I wanted to just say the herbs that are out front, there is tobacco. So I want you to know that. There is tobacco. It's in the biggest bowl. The natives use tobacco, specifically, I believe it's a Cherokee story that talks about grandfather tobacco. They have, as you know, they use the pipes. They use tobacco frequently. We have taken it and abused it in our culture, but it can come back. We can be in harmony with it. And the beautiful thing about grandfather tobacco, as the natives call him, was that the story goes, all the herbs came before the great creator. And the great creator said, I want you to tell me what you want to do while you're here on this planet. So lavender came up and said, I want to help people with anxiety, and I want to fill their nose with beautiful fragrance. And then Mint came along. And Mint said, oh, I want to help them with digestive stuff. And, that'll be really good. And it'll kind of perk them up and wake them up. And each of the various herbs came forth and said what they wanted to do. Meanwhile, Grandfather Tobacco was just sitting in the back and just kind of listening, just taking it all in, what each herb wanted. And then at the very end, he came up and the great creator said, well, you're the last one. So what do you want to do? And Grandfather Tobacco said, I want to do all of that. So they have this really special connection with tobacco. So I encourage you, if you're called, to pull some out and whisper a prayer as you go out to your cars, or if you want to walk the land and connect, take your shoes off. There's also some chamomile and there's lavender. So I grew the tobacco, just so you know, it's Tennessee tobacco. I have a whole thing. I'm from Tennessee originally, so I grew the tobacco in my yard. The lavender also comes from my yard, and there's lavender out there. I did not grow the chamomile. But there are also dried flowers, if you're called to do that, and a lot of those came from my yard as well. Not all, but probably half of them or more did. So there's a lot of connection to my own personal journey as well. So if you would like to do that after the service, and then we will close things out. Oh, wait.
I just wanted to say one thing to the buzzard. When you said the condor is closest to the buzzard, I dance with a buzzard fan and I have many tools, but I wanted to open the possibility of you thinking when you see those buzzards, they're actually cleaning. I'm a cleaner. Meagen and I both work as clinicians in human services, for me over 20 years. So we clean, and so we do respect, even though sometimes I think, why did Creator make some of my medicine one of the ugliest looking birds ever? But beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, I suppose.
Yes, thank you, Gabby. Oh, thank you. That's a great way to bring ourselves within, for sure. So let's take a deep breath. Just being one with the all-encompassing divine nature that is here and present in this moment. As we take a breath of the beautiful air that we are given, we practice gratitude. As we feel our heartbeat, we are grateful for this beautiful Pachamama, for we are made up of her very substance, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. If it were not for our beautiful mother, we would not be here today. So we honor you, Pachamama, Mother Earth, Gaia, La Tierra, the many names that you go by. We honor you. We celebrate you. For you are the giver of life. You are the giver of bounty. You are the giver of beauty. And we are so grateful to experience you, to love you, to commune with you. And then, as the natives say, the great Father Sky, the great Creator, the divine that lives inside of each of us, that spark, our soul. We are deeply connected to this planet and to each other. And as we work to make ourselves better, as we work to help our fellow brothers and sisters, we create a consciousness of light and love and laughter. So we thank you, great Creator. We thank you, Pachamama. We thank you, the divine spark that is inside of each of us. And as we move forward into this day and into this week, may we walk gently, may we love greatly, and may we practice gratitude in each moment. Amen, aho, and so it is.
Just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful share. I'm so grounded. Just beautiful. Meagen, thank you. Gabby, thank you. Just awesome. Thank you for the gifts that you're providing out there for us to bless our land with. And you had made mention of this community being a green community, and we have our U.S. team, we call it. It's Unity's sustainability team, and I think both co-leaders are here. Jerry is here, and is Judy here as well? And if you would like to be a volunteer on that team, we have received, I believe it's for 5 years in a row, the Unity's Earth Care or Green Care Award. So yeah. So this team specifically focuses on how to keep this a green community, how to really work with our Mother Earth and save our resources and enhance our lives in such a clean way. So thank you for the work that our team does here and for each of you. And yeah, beautiful message, beautiful reminder. And also, as I said, we have our next Sunday. I'm like, whoo, I took my shoes off, right? And now I'm like, whoo. So anyways, next Sunday we have our community gathering, so please join us for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a wonderful service and a wonderful experience afterwards as well. And we do have flyers out there. If you would like to come into the Welcome Center, we do have sign-up sheets for some volunteer opportunities. U.S. team, if you'd like to participate in that. The sustainability team, we've got Habitat team, we've got the Labyrinth team, we've got Feed the Kids Coalition, which works to feed the children through the Boys and Girls Club in Henderson County. And we have welcomers, greeters, ushers. We have so many opportunities now that we're coming back together in community in person. There's many ways for each of us to be of service. And so if you're interested in any of that, there's sign-up sheets in the Welcome Center, which is our former bookstore. And you can also see me following the service today. So thank you. And we are going to close out with a final song, and then we'll be back to do the prayer of protection.
Do you know where you're coming from? Do you know where you're going? And as time is passing, where are you now? Do you know? Do you know? Can you see where the sun is? Can you feel what's in the air? And what's that in the ocean coming to shore? Do you know? Do you know? Is the sky still looking down? And are we still looking upward? Will the world keep turning around if we pretend that it's just not in our hands? Can you see our dilemma going far beyond our bounds? It can't be growth if there's no life in the end. Do you know? Do you know? just not in our hands. Is the sky still looking down? And are we still looking upward? Will the world keep turning round if we pretend that it's just not in our hands? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for our amazing, flexible, spontaneous, creative, awesome band. Thank you, Dave De La Rosa. I want to thank all of you for joining us today. Thank you to our live streamers. Hope you enjoyed the service. Just very powerful, very moving, very awakening. So appreciate the gifts of the message that you both offered today. And thank you for supporting this community. For the many ways that you give, there are many opportunities online, and we also have blue boxes that we've got one here, and we've got them throughout the lobby. If you would like to offer a love offering, that would be most welcome, of course. But thank you for your presence. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for the service. I always say it's you that puts the you in unity. So, hey, welcome. Welcome. I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. Wonderful. So let's close with a prayer for protection and have a blessed week. And please see these two beautiful beings on your way out and do a little blessing of the land. So together we say, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. We got it right. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed week.